Hi and welcome to this first LEGO League City Shaper Trainer video for the 2019-20 season. My name is Andy and I'm the first LEGO League coordinator for the IET and want to welcome you to this training session. So to quickly say that the IET, or the Institution of Engineering and Technology, are the operational partners for the first LEGO League in the UK and Ireland. I want to take a moment just to say a massive thank you for giving up your time, volunteering to take part in this programme. The first LEGO League is an international programme and we've got kids taking part across the UK and Ireland. But it purely depends on volunteers. The majority of people taking part in this programme are volunteers. And if it wasn't for you, it wouldn't be possible. So thank you very much. So for anyone who doesn't know about the first LEGO League, it is an international programme with over 109 countries taking part, 38,000 teams across the world getting involved in every year. Now, within the UK and Ireland, we've got over 73 tournaments happening. We've got 950 teams taking part up and down across the UK and Ireland. And it's all about building the 21st century skills for their future careers. This could be looking at how they work with each other, how they solve problems, but it's ultimately about making the next generation of engineers. So the first LEGO League is an alliance between two organisations. We've got FIRST, a not-for-profit charity looking to inspire people into science and technology, and LEGO, that company you might have heard of before with their bricks. Now within the first LEGO League there are actually three parts that our teams are going to be taking part in and going to explain them in this training video. These three parts are the robot game, the project and the core values. Now, the robot game and the project, that is what the teams do. That is what they're working on. Whereas the core values are the skills. It's how they do it. It's what they're going to use in future for their careers. Core values are one of the most important parts of the first LEGO League, and it's something that teams have to demonstrate throughout their journey, both working towards their tournament and across the entirety of the tournament day. There are two terms that are quite often used for the core values. We're looking at gracious professionalism and co-opetition, or cooperative competition. What these basically mean is that the teams have the right attitude, and remember that it's a friendly competition. Yes, they're trying to win an award, but they're also supporting all the other teams that are present. The core values, there are 6 of them to look at. So we've got teamwork, working together makes them stronger. We've got inclusion, respecting each other and embracing their differences. Impact, applying what they have learned to improve the world they live in. Innovation, using creativity, persistence to solve problems. Discovery, exploring new skills and ideas. And finally, and in my opinion, most importantly, fun, enjoying themselves and celebrating what they do. So how does the first LEGO League work? Well, on the day, teams come along and they're going to be taking part in a range of sessions. First of all, they're going to be taking part in 3 robot games. And this is where teams are trying to score as many points as possible on the competition table. They're also going to take part in 3 judging sessions for the core values, the innovation project, and for the robot design. Now, they've got judges and referees throughout all of these sessions. And at the end of the day, these people come together with the scores and the adjudication to be able to decide which teams on the day are deserving of winning one of the many awards available. The judging sessions that they're going to be having to look at, each of them lasts about 10 minutes long, and in each of these sessions they'll be doing some different things. So for the robot design, they are going to have to demonstrate their robot, the features it has, the programs that it uses, but also look at the strategy that the team has come up with. For the innovation project, they have to identify a problem within their community, looking at a building or a public space. They have to design a solution and then they have to share it with maybe their school, maybe with experts in the local area. And all of this is delivered through a 5-minute presentation. Finally, for the core values judging, they have to demonstrate the core values in everything they do. Now, at your regional tournament, your hosts may ask them to perform a team activity, and they will explain this in more detail. But they also have to be able to articulate the journey that they've been on and face any of the problems they've encountered and how they've overcome them. Alongside the judging sessions is the robot game, and we've got the competition table, which is filled with various missions that they have to try and complete by getting an autonomous robot to move, push, activate something, and meet the criteria to score points. Now, these robots can come in all different shapes and sizes. So the robots you see at the top here, these are relatively simplistic, although I still wouldn't know how to do that. They might have a sensor on there, some motors to be able to move the wheels, maybe an arm or grabber at the front. But as we move then towards the bottom images, you can see these are far more complex robots, far more complex building and design in there. Thing to remember is that doesn't necessarily mean that they are better. It's about innovation, it's about efficiency, and designing something for the job that they have to complete. So, as a referee, the objective of your role is to be able to assess the team within the robot games, looking at what they're doing, making sure they're sticking to the rules, and resolving any deliberation that may come up. Now, this is a really crucial role within the First LEGO League. It's critical in making sure that the day runs smoothly, but also in providing encouragement to teams where maybe the robot hasn't done quite what they were hoping in the first or second game. So, the robot game, let's get a bit of an overview. The robot game takes place on two competition tables, which are against each other like a mirror image. And the teams competing will only be able to have 2 team members at the table at any one time. This is try and make sure that we don't get too many hands, bodies getting in the way for you as a referee to be able to see what's going on. Each robot game lasts 2.5 minutes, and once the timer has started, it does not stop. So check the teams are ready, and if they say they are, count down and start the game. If they then go, "Oh, I wasn't ready," sorry, that's their fault there. Once the timer has started, it doesn't stop. Each team will take part in 3 robot games throughout the day, and their highest score will count. So even if the first or second game doesn't quite go to plan, if they absolutely nail the third one and score really, really high, fantastic. And the big one with the robot game is the robots are autonomous. So they are pre-programmed to be able to complete the various missions they're trying to do. So there can be no Bluetooth connection or wire connection to the robot during the game. They have to physically press a button on there to start their program. So during the robot game, you'll be using one of the paper score sheets to be able to assess the team on their robot game. At the start of the game, make sure you complete all of the info in the top left-hand corner, putting in the information about what team's competing, which rounds they're involved in, so that we know whose sheet is whose. At the end of the game, you need to complete everything else on that sheet, and make sure you check with the team that they are happy with everything you've put on there. Also available is a digital scorer. Now this can be used on a desktop computer or laptop, iPad, but also app versions are available from Google Play and from the Apple Store. We recommend a scorer from FLLtutorials.com. Go onto the City Shaper resources and you'll be able to find the digital scorer just there, along with the links to the various app versions. So being a referee, there's a few key things you need to take into account. So first of all, you do not need to worry about scoring up all of the points. Someone else will be doing this for you on the day. What you need to do is you need to record the condition of the field at the end of the 2.5 minutes. Don't try and score things halfway through the game because things can and probably will change. At the end of the game, agree with the team the score that they have achieved, and also look at any deliberations that they might have, any queries they have in terms of the scoring, and notice their core values and report any good or maybe not so good core values to any head judges on the day. Most importantly, put the children at ease. As I said, there might be, sadly, the situation where the robot doesn't do quite what they are expecting. Make sure you give them encouragement, praise them, advise them, so that they can come along to their next game and score even better. So we're going to have a quick look through the main rules and missions for the City Shaper season. Now, with regards to the mission, your tournament host will be able to show you on the day all of the missions and how they work. We're also providing you with all the details on our judges website page, so make sure you read through all the details there or watch the videos provided. We are going to give you now a brief overview of the main rules that the teams have to stick to during the robot games. But there is some terminology that you'll need to know for this, so let's have a look. So this is the challenge mat, and the challenge mat as a whole, when you're taking the entire table, is called the field. Now the mat itself does not cover the entire table, and therefore, orange section just here is the mat. Over on the west-hand edge of the table is this blank rectangular space. This is called home. And within home, there are two sections. There is the large inspection area, and there is the small inspection area. At your regional tournaments, your host will be provided with table stickers which will help identify these two different sections. Finally, we've got this quarter circle which is called the launch area. So with all of those terminology facts in place, let's have a look at what happens when a team arrives for their robot game. Before the game starts, we need to look at inspection. So this is where you as a referee are going to check whether they fit one of two criteria within the inspection areas. Now in previous years of the first LEGO League, teams have been able to bring along a table or a trolley and put all of their stuff on there. But this year that is gone. Teams are now going to have to fit all of their equipment in one of two inspection areas. So their equipment includes their robots, any of their attachments, but also any jigs or frames that they may have made. Now they can try and fit all of this into the small inspection area, highlighted here on the screen, or they can try and fit it all into the large inspection area. Fitting it into the small inspection area does come with a bit of a points reward, so the teams are going to try to do this if they can. Key things to remember with the inspection area is that all of their equipment that they want to use for that robot game round has to fit in there. This includes the mission model for mission 11 that they might bring to the table on the day. Within the inspection areas, there is an imaginary height limit. Now this is 12 inches or 30.5 centimeters. Now the teams can stack up their equipment as much as they like, and they can actually support these stacks with their hands. You just need to make sure that all of that equipment fits into one of those two areas and goes no higher than 12 inches. So once the inspection is complete, the teams can prepare themselves for launch. So this involves getting their robot into the launch area and making sure that it has got all of the equipment, all of the mission models that it might need to start off with. All of their other equipment and mission models should be in the home space. Once they are ready, and once the other team is ready, the referees will check that they're happy, ready to go, and then the countdown will begin. 3, 2, 1, LEGO! And the robots launch and go out onto the mat to complete as many missions as they can. Now, in order for the teams to be able to touch that robot again without incurring any kind of loss of points, that robot needs to fully return to home. This means that every single part of it, including any arms or attachments that might be hanging out, needs to have fully crossed into the home area, a bit like if you were looking at it from a bird's eye view. Once it has returned to home, they can set up their robot again to launch, they can change any attachments that are on there, they can get new equipment and mission models into the launch area and do it again. And they can do this as many times as they like within the 2.5 minutes. And once the timer is finished, stop the robot wherever it is, and that's when you can then score up and see how they have done. Important things to remember when it comes to the launch is that they cannot start setting up for the next launch until the robot has returned to home. And if they accidentally start their robot in the launch area, it starts to move, but as long as they stop it before it's left the launch area, there is no loss of points for this. Speaking about the loss of points, we need to have a look at the precision tokens. Now, the precision tokens are 6 red discs sitting within the southeast corner of the mat. And every time that the team interrupts their robot, they lose one of these precision tokens. Now, an interruption is when they touch their robot when it is not fully in home. So let's say they've launched their robot, it's gone out onto the mat, it's got stuck, it's not doing what it's meant to be doing. They can stop the robot, pick it up, and bring it back to home. But this means they lose one of those tokens. They can lose all 6 tokens and carry on within the game and incur no further losses, but it does mean they don't get the points associated with those tokens anymore. So, as a referee, how can you get prepared? Well, first off, you should try and learn the rules, learn the missions, and learn the score sheets. Now, this sounds like a lot, but we have made sure to provide as many resources for you as possible. So on our judges website page, you will be able to find the Robot Game Guide, which gives you an overview of all of these missions and rules. You'll also be able to find videos on the various missions, the paper score sheets, as well as links to the scoring software and apps. On the day, you will also have other volunteers helping you out at the Robot Games. Now, these roles might include the timekeeper, making sure that everyone's keeping to time and watching that 2.5-minute timer for you. There will be runners, bringing the teams to the tables, taking them back to their pit areas. And finally, we'll have the scorekeepers. These are the people that would take the paper score sheets and keep the master record of how the teams are doing throughout the day. At the tournaments at the end of the day, there will be a big closing ceremony celebrating all the teams and their amazing achievements. But there are awards that are going to be given out. And normally at tournaments, there are 6 awards. And first of all, we have got the Champions Award. This is given to the team that has achieved across the board. So they haven't just succeeded in one of the areas, they've done well within the robot design, the robot game, the innovation project, and the core values. And this is the team that will go on to one of our national finals. This isn't the only award though. On the day, we'll also be giving out Core Values Award for the team that has shown the best core values, the Innovation Project for the best project, Robot Design for a fantastic robot design, and Robot Performance Award. Now, the Robot Performance Award is for the team that has scored the highest out of all the teams present on the day. So to make sure that teams feel like they have achieved and give them the best chance of getting an award, we say that a team cannot win more than 1 award unless it is the champions and the robot performance. If this is the case, if they are going on to the national final and they score the highest score in the robot games, then yes, they can get those 2 awards. Other than that, 1 award per team so that as many people can achieve as possible. Now, there's one final award, and we tend to call this the Judges Award, but depending on which tournament you're at, this might be a Best Newcomer Award, it might be the Most Innovative Design Award. It is up to the local host to decide where this goes, and your host will fill you in. So to round up on being a judge or a referee for the first LEGO League, you are going to enable the teams to be able to give their best performance. You want to make sure that they come out of the day feeling like they have achieved and done an amazing job, which of course they will have. Positive questioning is very, very important. It's about finding out what they do know, not what they don't know. Make sure the team feels proud about whatever they have done. Make sure you keep to time, otherwise you'll have a very stressed tournament host. And most importantly, have fun. Once again, I want to say a massive thank you for all of you, for your help and volunteering at the first LEGO League. Your tournament host will be able to provide you with further information on the day, such as rooms and timetabling. But if you do have any specific questions before your tournament day, please do not hesitate to get in contact by emailing firstlegoleague@theiet.org.